deep breath and remember who you are. Yeah, they're gonna mess with you, baby, you're a star. Stepping in the spotlight, you know that it feels like time to put up a fight, honey. Got nothing left to lose, so let's start right now. Everybody want a piece of you. Gotta give them what they want, it's true. You're symphonic, yeah, so iconic. If you didn't know before, now you know. Now you know.
This is where it gets real. Here it comes.
Take a big step away from who you were. Flashing that smile and the whole world's a blur.
Take a big step from who you were or once were or something. Scott here with Stacey Steinmiller on the wonderfully positively powerful live stream extravaganza that we do every Wednesday. And yes, just in case you weren't sure, it is indeed Wednesday. It's not Tuesday, and it's definitely not freaking Thursday, even though all of those days is what my mind thought it was today. No idea what's going on, where things are happening. I'm just like a leaf blowing in the wind.
The way to be.
So, plus, from where the Rockvox studio is, we're a stone's throw from 490 and the Bushnell's Basin exit, right? And they're tearing it up there. They took half the bridge down, and they're doing something like pile driving or something. And so there's a it's actually like that constantly from 7 a.m. to I think about 5:30 or 6 p.m. every day for the last 3 weeks.
Being tested.
It's like an audio version of Chinese water torture or something where it's like that. Oh my gosh, incessant. It just it's like the telltale heart,
Right, yes. The guilt.
Yes. It's the body I buried.
Hopefully you're not feeling guilty.
Behind the studio.
What are you hiding?
I am not hiding anything except for nothing. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've always had problems with throughout my life, and we over the past 10 years have made huge strides in rectifying this problem, and that's speaking up for myself. And I know a lot of people do have that problem. Like if you're, for example, you're at the store and I don't know, somebody steps in front of you, or somebody does something that encroaches on your space or something that you don't like, and you just kind of like, you just like step away and let them do it because, I don't want the confrontation. Or you go, "Excuse me, I'm standing here." Or you say it nicely and you go, "Excuse me, I'm standing here. Thank you." And then, if they turn out to be a jerk, then you give them both barrels. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today, and specifically because I had an experience on Monday where, so as I drive down my in the extended part of my neighborhood, it's like a street over, long drive to go to the main street. And all of the roads inside all of the neighborhoods in my area, they're all 30 miles an hour unless they're marked otherwise. And around the bend, it's 20 or whatever. But they're 30, and I always thought 30 was a bit excessive in a residential area. I mean, that's like really fast. I don't usually go 30. I usually go about 25, maybe 20. And I'm driving down, and this happens a lot. I'm driving down. And people who are like walking their dogs, or they're standing on the side of the road or whatever, they see you coming and they always go, you see them go, "Slow down," like you're speeding through this neighborhood. And it used to piss me off because I was like, I'm going the speed limit. Who are these people? They're like human radar detectors? Like, how do they know how fast I'm going? And so it happened, and the woman was really like nasty about it. She's like, slow down. And so I actually stopped my truck, got out, and said, just so you know, I'm driving 25, which is 5 miles an hour below the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit in this neighborhood. And she's like, oh, well, it looks like you're going much faster. Yeah, I'm coming down a hill toward you. You're standing still. I could be going 15 miles an hour, and it's going to look like I'm going way faster than I am. And the one thing I wanted to ask you as an expert of energy, was this a waste of my energy, or was this something that I like legitimately needed to do for myself? Like, I know the answer. I definitely wanted to do that.
Then you know the answer.
Felt better. But from just like from an expert point of view, do you feel like this was something that I should have just like let roll off and just been like, who cares?
Right. So there is no like right or wrong answer, right? So it's always going to be individual and what is best for that person. So that's why it's like for you, you already know that answer, and you know that there was growth in there for you to do that. But that might not be the same answer for someone else, depending on them, where they're at, what their struggles are, where their blocks, beliefs, etc. are. Maybe if it's somebody that is I don't know, getting angry at people and always yelling at them and feeling like they're whatever, and feeling like a victim, then that might be like, hey, what would it be like to not respond, right? That might be learn right for that person. So that's why I often, like, even in obviously my group coaching containers and so forth, everything is still so individualized, because there is no like step 1, you do this, step 2, you do this, or this is always the right way. It's very individualized to us and even who we are in that moment, right? Like an edge for me today is going to be very different from the edge from before, from years ago, versus the edge from even a couple months from now. Right. So, so I know that's like a long answer to your question, but I think that's important to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just wanted to let everyone know Dave Mamano decided to pipe up here. Excuse me, I think you dropped something like the concept of manners. You want me to help you pick it up? Or, oh, wow, I didn't realize we were doing the Who's Most Entitled competition today. You're off to a great start.
Spoken like a true Sagittarius.
Now, I traditionally am not good in confrontations. I'm not good in the situation where I have to stand up for myself. And like I said, it's something that I've been working on. I get nervous. I get tongue twisted. Wow. Yeah, pretty much what you just saw. That's how I get, like when I had to run upstairs to the new massage therapist who was making more noise than I wanted when I was recording a very important audiobook, and she had just moved in, and I was flipping out. I was trying to be, what I thought was being as respectful as I could. I didn't want to, I mean, she's got a do not disturb thing on the door, but I was like, I really am sorry that I'm knocking on, but can you turn the music down, and can you, it's too loud. I'm hearing it through the ceiling and stuff. We ended up getting that all sorted out, but boy, that was a wreck. I was a wreck in that confrontation, and she recognized it. She's like, "You're not good at confrontation, are you?" Which at the time I thought was really, really rude and just kind of like, oh, like, aren't you,
high and mighty?
Yeah. But I think she was just being honest in the situation, and she was calm, and I was all, I wasn't yelling or anything, but I was clearly agitated and upset.
Yeah.
But not necessarily at her. I was just upset that this was happening,
Right.
So I do have that problem, and I know that I remember as a kid my mother being that way. Like my mother, like not not wanting, she was always very meek, not wanting to say anything or whatever. And then I noticed as she got older and she got into her 60s and 70s, she started just saying, "Screw it, I'm gonna say what I need to say."
Let it all out.
Oh yeah, this is great. Just have a fart toy on hand to scare off the entitled.
That's the entire. Oh, that's funny. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
hard to do, especially if that's what was modeled to you. Or a lot of times clients will say things like, "Oh, I don't want to be mean," which means, oh, okay. So what it tells me as a coach is there's some sort of story here that is making them think just stating their, the truth of, like your example of, I was actually driving 25, right? That for some reason there's the story in here of like just stating the truth is mean or rude or burdensome or right,
yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
it's almost like speaking up for yourself in that confrontational aspect is bad or is negative or is rude or mean when it really technically kind of isn't.
right, no,
I
right. So
mean,
it's all about how you looking at it. So and then that's the thing to then work on is like understanding, well, why you think that to begin with. Where's that story come from? Then recognize it as a story that you've, sorry, that I got something in my throat, that you've just assumed to be true because you've picked that up from somewhere. So then we start to challenge those beliefs. And that's what I mean by always like constantly challenging our beliefs and the stories and so forth, because we're running off this as fact and truth, but it's actually not serving us. And in fact, it's often getting in the way and then causing, like the example with the massage therapist being loud, right? You're in frustration all day, right? And if you're like in frustration all day, how are you going to feel when you come home to your family and so forth, right? Like they're going to end up being affected by your frustration, right? Like it's this thing that's actually really impacting who you are, your business, the people you love.
oh yeah.
And that's why I find this work like I don't see this as luxury work. Like this is essential to for us and everybody we serve and everyone we love. But it is hard to untangle those belief systems and then adopt new ones, right? It's a process.
Oh yeah, and we have a book suggestion,
Mm-mm.
Candid Conversations from David
Nice.
Romano. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. Um,
I love it.
I I know this. It always kind of goes back to doing the work, and I think that's really what this live stream is defining what doing the work means
Yeah.
and understanding what doing the work means for each one of us, and it's different for a lot of
Yeah.
us. There are some through lines. I think a lot of
Yep.
us are caught up in this world that we live in that's full of stimuli, social media, just like constant stuff happening all the time, and you're going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and it takes a lot of I don't know what the word would be, self realization. I don't know, to
Awareness.
awareness, yeah, self awareness, to be able to stop and say, all right, this is something that I have a problem with these confrontations. Why is that? What's the
Hmm.
problem? What's the story inside me that's causing that? Where
Hmm.
does that come from? And obviously, it's like trying to psychoanalyze yourself is a little bit difficult, but it's still someone like you gives people the tools to ask those questions, and maybe you have a way of, giving people pointers on what steps to do in that situation and how you can, come up with an answer or come up
Right.
with a
Yeah.
strategy to find the answer.
Yeah. And I often encourage people not to get too far into the weeds, right? Because really we just have to recognize, oh, this is a story that I've held on to for however long and came from somewhere, right? But it just brings us to the now of, is this a story that I want to keep is this a story I want to bring into tomorrow? Is this a story I want to continue for the rest of today? Is it something I want to shift? And then we kind of work towards that. And that's why I love the programs that I have that are in group context for people to come in anytime and recognize and be like, hey, this thing happened and this is the story that came up in my head, right? But this is what I know to be true. And so what I love about community is, and other people can be like, oh yeah, like that happened to me too. This is what I did. So this is also not always just me coaching people through, but my clients learning from each other and how that's like playing out in their life. So yeah, it takes some awareness to kind of recognize that it's happening, but then it might lead to a question, and then they can get an exact question like, Stacey, how do I, or blah, 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 right? And then that's easier to get the guidance that way, because now you've honed it down to an actual question that you have, instead of just, I don't know, being in some emotional soup, right? That you can't get out of.
Emotional soup tastes a lot like minestrone for some reason. Happy National Beef Burger Day. Thanks, Todd.
Let's have it for the
A day that never existed before social media. Same with Talk Like a Pirate Day. I don't think that existed before social media.
There's some burger special going on at some place in Fairport today. I heard.
All right, Google burgers in Fairport.
Burger special because I was there yesterday. They had like I don't eat any of this stuff, but I was there with a friend yesterday.
Where would that
be?
But
I guess it's $8 burgers, maybe because they know it's Burger Day or something. It's an $8 make your own burger. I'm just doing random marketing now for
the Village Inn, maybe? Is it the Fairport?
No, a Donnelly's. That's on
the Donnelly's public house.
Yeah, something. I don't know. But
yeah,
I guess I guess I didn't realize it was like an actual burger, National Burger Day.
Well, of course.
I want to know what Todd's calendar looks like.
Oh, it's chock full of interesting things. I actually have. Where is it? Is it not? Oh yeah, I have the holidayinsights.com daily calendar. I've gone to this pretty much every day since I got into radio. It's part of my default tabs that open up in Chrome, and it has what every single day. There's a day for every day of the year, some sort of holiday. And it's a lot of times they're really just specific or vague, like it's National take your three-legged dog for a walk day, like that specific. So what's today? Today's the 28th. Let's see what today is according to my list here. Or actually, where did I just see that? We missed Blueberry Cheesecake Day. That was Monday. So today is Amnesty International Day.
Oh, Tom, what's going on? He's making shit up.
And here's an odd thing. It's National Hamburger Day, and it's also World Hunger Day. Give the world a hamburger, even though a good part of the world or many people are vegetarians. But and my favorite and my daughter's favorite day, World Otter Day. And just in case you wanted to celebrate that in the future, it is always the last Wednesday in May where we celebrate our...
Wait, so it's based off of that versus just like the calendar day?
Yeah, it's not. Some of these are always on, May 28th, but that one happens to be the last Wednesday in May. And tomorrow is very important to learn about Composting Day and National Paperclip Day. So, you can have a lot of fun with that tomorrow. Yeah.
Very intriguing.
And then, I could go on. Chinese Dragon Boat Festival Day. Save Your Hearing Day. Oops, too late. And World No Tobacco
What, does it say that? Oh no, you said that. I was like, wait. Sorry.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Thanks for that that trip down the
derailing
the date rabbit hole. Oh wait, now I have to put this Dave Mamano's Sexy, but don't tell him I said this. Something tells me I should not have seen that. put that on there. Yeah.
Why?
Here's a good one.
Oh, Denny has a thing. Is that the same
I was gonna
when
try
you were
to.
looking
It's
at
not the same one, but I'm sure they have all the same dates.
it?
All right. So yeah, totally got off track
Anyways,
here.
maybe we should make one based off of like the things from coaching, like National Speak Up for Yourself Day. And
Yeah.
that would be
National Don't Take
fun.
No Shit at the Grocery Store Day.
You should. Oh, I like that. It could be a little
National
daily
Call
calendar.
Out the Garbage Companies for not sticking to their holiday schedule day. I'm talking to you, Waste Management. We'll see when I get home. We'll see if my garbages have been emptied or if they are still flowing over, which they are. I have 5 people in my family. Almost 6. We're gonna have someone else moving in with us.
Just got like a whole.
That's an entirely different live stream.
Or maybe not a live stream.
Maybe not. Maybe we'll edit it first, just in case.
Pre-recorded.
Oh boy, this is perfect because a lot of things have been going on around here that have been quite stressful. We've been dealing with a lot of stuff, just personnel wise, and the construction here in Bushnell's Basin, and of course, the world political climate is always a good way to get your feathers in a ruffle, if that's a thing. But having these conversations with you always kind of brings me back to the simplest form of my day, the simplest part of my day, which is self-awareness, being aware of the fact that my headphones are all cockeyed. And one, look at that. They're like, nah!
Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad.
These things. Today, National Pay More Than $30 for a Set of Headphones Day. But seriously, going back to the simplest form, the simplest thing of the day is to think about whatever it is I'm going through at that time. Think about what the story is behind that, where there's a story there. And I like that you use that phrase, that there's a story there.
Yeah.
And to try to think about, just, you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to go, a deep dive or into the rabbit hole and stuff. You just take a minute to think about the story, think about what it is happening, what it is that you're feeling about that, and just give it some more thought. A lot of times that extra minute or so of thought can actually bring you some eureka moments that you didn't really consider before, because you actually took the time to think about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I have like this example of this coaching group that I'm in. Some woman said something, and I don't know, there was like something about another coach, and she's like, oh, this coach, she realized that she could have made an offer to her that this other coach might, would have benefited from, but it was like in retrospect. But she was like, oh, this other coach is already, psychic medium or whatever she was. And therefore thought, well, she wouldn't benefit, or she wouldn't need, or my services. And then realized, like, wait a minute, that was like a story in her head that, like, oh, because this person is already XYZ, then they wouldn't want to work with me, or they wouldn't benefit from it. When in retrospect, it was like, wait a minute, I have this cool offer, and this person might be the perfect person for this offer that I'm doing. But it came back to that story, and then she never made the offer, right? And it could have been, a beautiful growth and life-changing thing. But it all came down to the assumption that she had. Yeah. So it's really cool to uncover all that, right? Because then the next time you'll think differently, especially if that same story comes up. You're like, oh, I remember you.
Rewriting my narrative.
Yeah.
And that exact situation has happened to me more times than I would even care to remember.
Yeah.
And they haven't always resulted in, you know, a new client or a positive outcome or even a response. But you know, you can't, what is it? You get zero. What is it? What's that damn sales thing? Like, you can't make any sales if you don't make any
right. Yeah. You
don't
get
ask or something.
100%. What I, yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Come on. Where's Mamano? He knows that shit.
Everybody knows what we're talking about, so we can just leave it.
But that exact, I had somebody shared a video with me from someone who was, you know, in the viral world or whatever. It was just their video was going viral, and they had like, I don't know, 500,000 subscribers. And I was like, wow, they have 500,000 subscribers, and she's got this gorgeous microphone in the shot, but I would bet money she's not using it. It sounds like she's in a big room. And I'm like, what is she doing? So, and then someone said, well, email her and, you know, get a hold of her and reach out. And so I did, and got no response, but I still did it.
Right. Which is cool, because then this is where we start being in our authority and our power. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Denny.
Thank you.
Yeah. He missed 100%. Thank you. I knew it was like 100% something.
You screw up 100% of the idioms that you can't remember properly.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Sex Panther. Yeah. So yeah, that thing that we were just talking about, man, we're just off the rails today. This is positively powerful ADD version, but it's been good for me. And you know what? If one or two people that's watching actually got even remotely a small part, like small piece of truth, then I'm happy. That's my day is fulfilled.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Well,
honestly, that's a good mindset. I use it all the time. I'm like, if one person benefits from me doing it, it's worth it. And then one thing I even added, I talked about this yesterday, actually. If I benefit, it's worth it, right? Because I'm showing up. It's about my growth. It's about whatever. So then that completely has taken the need, right? The codependency of anyone out of it. And I'm simply showing up because I like being here, and you're showing up because you like being here. And if people benefit from it, that's super awesome. If not, we're just having a good time.
Hell yeah. Can't make it any better than that. 100% of the mic drop moments that you will witness will be from anything that Stacey Steinmiller says on one of her live streams or coaching sessions. That's a new one. Put that one on a plaque.
It's super simple and very easy to remember.
We try to hang out with you on the socials every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to shoot the shit and talk about problems that a lot of people have that maybe you may be going through, and hopefully launch some solutions, or at least put yourself in a mindset where you can stop and think about them and maybe work your way through them. But if you can't and you need extra help, Stacey Steinmiller is the one for you. I highly recommend radicallifecoach.com for all of your radical life coaching needs. Is that correct? Isn't that your slogan?
You got it right. It's just
for all your radical life coaching needs.
Life coaching. Yeah. Because every day everyone wakes up and they're like, I have radical life coaching needs.
I totally have radical life coaching needs. And if you'd like a radical studio bro to do your podcast, live stream, voiceovers, audiobooks for self-published authors, we kind of specialize in those. If you want to give me a shout, rockbox.com. We'll hook you up with all the techie stuff because that's what we do. All right, thanks so much.
You might get
and you'll get a headphone that is proportionate to your head and not like you got hit by a truck. Okay, that's it for us. We'll see you next time.